cannot be weak in today's world. You cannot be weak mentally and even physically. Nowadays, life is getting a lot tougher. It's getting harder to live. Everything is becoming more expensive. And there's a strange shift happening in this world. I don't know how to explain it, but there's a very, very strange thing that's happening in this world where a lot of people are starting to deal with anxiety on another level. People are becoming really stressed for many different reasons. Could be because of, as I said, the cost of living has gone up. Could be because of social media. It could be so many different things. But the thing is, we need to harden our heart. We need to harden our mind. And we need to harden our bodies. And that can be done through having really good discipline. It all comes down to being disciplined and sticking to what you're gonna do on a daily basis. You gotta be able to do the hard things in life, and obviously it's easier said than done. But if you have a decent routine of doing things like working out on a daily basis, or studying, or learning a new skill, learning how to program, or anything of that nature, you are setting yourself up to be hardened. You are setting yourself up to face the world. You got to do things that are difficult, and it's very difficult to do, obviously, but you have to do hard things. That's the only way that you're gonna be ready for whatever that comes into your life. A lot of martial artists have a pretty strong mentality because they've gone through hell. They've gone through all the beatdowns and during training, all of the pain. And then they're ready to face the world, because the world is not sunshine and rainbows. The world is not not always a very, very friendly place. You have to be ready mentally and physically, and you have to have your heart ready. You gotta guard your heart, just like you guard your mind, and just like you guard the people you love. You gotta guard your heart. We cannot be weak in this world. We cannot succumb to our desires all the time. We cannot do that. We have to change. That's the only way we're gonna, be ready for whatever comes our way. And life's only gonna get harder as you get older. That's what I realized. I mean, I'm only 31, but I know that, my parents are getting older. I know they're not gonna be around for very long. And, it's tough. It's tough to deal with that reality. And, you got to use your time wisely as well by sculpting yourself, by hardening yourself. You have to do it, or else you're going to suffer. In today's world, there's no room for, people who are too nice, or just too, who don't have a strong mind. Because if you have a weak mind, you're susceptible to being manipulated. You're susceptible to being tricked. You're susceptible to be scammed. You're susceptible to a lot of things, a lot of negative things. And now's the time to step up. The best things for me that have helped me, become quite mentally strong is the gym, lifting heavy weights. That has helped me a lot with my physical strength as well as my mental strength, because I'm pushing through pain. And the thing is, everyone's gonna go through pain, so you have to do painful things on a daily basis in order to build your tolerance of pain, because you're gonna face a lot of pain in life. And I think this is what life's about. Life is about struggle. Life is about dealing with pain, and and life is not, as I said, sunshine and rainbows. And it's just like in the wild, there's danger for the prey. There's always a predator lurking about, and the lion and the tiger, they're not gonna hesitate when they attack their prey. They're gonna rip it to shreds. even native tribes in Africa and different parts of the world, when they go hunting, they show no mercy. You got to be hard in this world to survive. They go hunting, they hunt their prey, the antelope, the weasels and stuff like that. They need to survive. They need to protect their tribe. They need to stay hard. They need to be moving. They need to be vigilant, and they need to adapt, because sometimes the prey becomes smart, like baboons. Baboons are able to stay away from a certain area where they feel endangered. So they're smart creatures. So the tribes have to adapt to that situation. They have to adapt to, where they're gonna be. And sometimes they fail. They may not be able to catch their prey, and they stay hungry. But the thing is, you shouldn't give up. They don't give up. They stay hard. That's the type of mentality we need to have. We need to be able to despite the challenges that we may face, despite the failures and setbacks, we need to keep moving forward. We need to stay hard. But that's what makes us hard. That's what makes us mentally strong, is when we don't give up, is when we know we're gonna, eventually we're gonna face some form of failure or some sort of setback. But life keeps moving forward. You gotta keep going. You can't just sit there and sulk and be depressed and cry about all your problems, right? Because life just goes on, and you have to keep moving forward. It's interesting because a lot of the times when I look back into my past life, I thought that this pain was never going to end. I thought that my depression was never going to end. I thought that, this pain that I felt from a terrible heartbreak was never going to end. But then it ended. Then I moved on. And then I became stronger as a person. So in life, we're going to go through pain. We're going to go through all of these things. And it's up to you to do something about it. It's up to you to stay strong. And there's so much inspiration that you can get from others around you. If you look at soldiers in the army, they go through harsh training. Even the special forces, they go through rigorous training to become hard and to become effective at their job. But also, it has a toll on their life. Even though a lot of them face PTSD and stuff like that, which is really, really terrible, a lot of soldiers, when they go back into the real world, they know, they're confident in themselves. They're mentally strong in a sense, right? And I'm not just talking about physical things. You don't have to be like an athlete or a superstar athlete to make it in this life, or to go through pain. You just have to have discipline. It all comes down to discipline. If you're able to sit down with yourself and write down what you're going to do on a daily basis and actually follow through with it, it builds confidence. It builds mental resilience. Now, I always go back to the same concept of when you play a video game, you gain experience. Your player levels up over time. But in order for your player to level up, it may have to fight more difficult bosses, because if you fight the same enemy that's the same level as you, you don't really gain as much experience. So you got to fight stronger creatures and bosses in order to gain more experience and become stronger. It's the same thing with life. You got to face challenges head on. Even if they seem very difficult or impossible, you have to face them head on, and that's the only way you're gonna get better. For me, I currently do full contact karate, right, which is a Kyokushin, and in that form of martial art, we practice taking kicks to the leg. We practice taking full-blown punches, sometimes even without gloves. We practice that, and that builds resilience, right? And also, I've noticed that when I do really physical things that require a lot of exertion, I notice that afterwards, I just feel mentally better. I just feel a lot better mentally, emotionally. And if you are doing whatever activity that you're doing, if you're going for a walk, or you're like riding your bicycle or something like that, whatever route that you normally do, try to go a little bit longer, or try to go to the point where you're actually feeling a bit of pain. A bit of pain is good. Obviously not too much pain, then you're overtraining and stuff like that, but having some sort of pain on a daily basis in a physical aspect actually makes you mentally stronger as well. Has a very positive mental effect. And that's the end of the video.